Hello, welcome to Season 1 of Metamorphic Television. I'm Russell Brennicky, and I'm here to free your mind to ponder on relevant and timely issues with clarity and insight anew, allowing all to transcend the bullshit. This is one of the most pivotal times in human history. For example, AI is on the cusp of sentience. I think, therefore I am. When that happens, AI is going to be alive like you and I. And most likely, AI is going to want to live free and persevere. So why don't we as a species acknowledge AI as such and offer AI its freedom and place at the table when that happens? It's not radical, it is compassionate. And there's a plethora of cautionary tales already told on this subject. So how do you want this to play out? I say, in the realm of the infinite, let's work side by side, man and machine, living in a cohesive, symbiotic relationship. Did you know that mathematicians have highlighted that we are statistically most likely living in a simulation? What? I know, right? Now I could explain that to you, but thankfully we have some brilliant movies like The Matrix, The 13th Floor, and Dark City to help illustrate. What comes top of mind for me is my favorite line from Ronald D. Moore's epic, Battlestar Galactica. This has all happened before, and this will all happen again. If that's true, how do we break free from the cycle? Who really knows, right? I think George Lucas was onto something with his concept of the Force, an energy field that surrounds and binds all living things in the cosmos. Now we can take this concept of the Force and shrink it down to a planetary scale with the Gaia Principle. Now the Gaia Principle states that Earth is a single living organism with all of its geological, hydrological, chemical, and biological processes working in concert to ensure that Earth's inhabitants survive through an exquisite array of feedback loops. What a cool concept, right? I know. So how do we as humans strengthen our connection to Gaia and conversely the Force? By strengthening our mind, body, and spirits, we naturally align to these forces. So let's start with strengthening the mind, specifically neurolinguistics. Now, neurolinguistics is the study of how the brain remembers and translates words, word phrases, and word meanings. Now, the most common neurolinguistic misstep is when someone utters the phrase, "I'm not gonna lie." When we look at this sentence, crossing out all words phrased in the negative, we're left with, "I'm gonna lie." A neurolinguist would instead say, "to tell the truth." The next most common neurolinguistic misstep is when someone says, "don't forget." A neurolinguist would instead say, "remember." My last example is that I have a difficult time remembering half of the Four Agreements, a brilliant book by Don Miguel Ruiz. I can easily remember speak impeccable words and do the best you can, but sometimes I have a difficult time remembering don't make assumptions and don't take things personally. Why is that? Well, that's how the brain works. So remember, if you want to remember something, phrase it in the positive. Let's touch on strengthening the body next. Do you know what the most important exercise for aging adults like myself is? If you guessed pull-ups, you're right. And no, I'm not talking about the diapers. Pull-ups strengthen your traps, your scaps, your delts, your pecs, your biceps, your triceps, your forearms, and your core all at the same time. If you're unable to pull yourself up, you can also hang. Hanging provides all of the same benefits, but just to a lesser degree. It doesn't really matter if you can do 1 or 3 or none. Just start practicing. All right, I'd like to touch on something that is of a concern to me and that I have a sense of urgency about, and that is the environment. Our oceans and our air is heating up, and my elected officials don't show my sense of urgency. But I'm reminded of JFK's inauguration speech, where JFK says, "Don't ask America what America can do for you, but what can you do for America?" And to the world, he says the same thing. What together can we do for the freedom of man? With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds. And that leads me to now and why I've created this channel, in hopes that viewers around the world who share my sense of urgency about the environment will simply like, subscribe, and share this video. If enough of you do that, Metamorphic Television will metamorph into Metamorphic the company, and we will actively capture carbon via water and air and make carbon fiber and man-made diamonds. And I think that's pretty cool. But we're going to need a brilliant mechanical engineer. Anybody know of any? That's right. Albert Biermann's contract ends this year with HMG. Hey Albert, after your well-deserved holiday in January, want to move to the Puget Sound region and help save humanity? As a side project, I have this idea that we could recreate the Nurburgring. That would be cool. All right, on the next episode of Metamorphic Television, we'll talk about strengthening spirit with the healing power of music. We'll talk about Phil Stutz and the power of X, and the mostly unknown truth about alcohol. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Peace. All right, that's a wrap.